I spent the whole year making videos for you guys, telling you guys what you should do with your money. So I guess it's only fair that I share with you guys what I did in 2025. So in today's video, I'll be talking about my financial review for the year. It will cover my income, my expenses, as well as my investments. Honestly, I don't have that much detail to give you guys because I'm not very good at tracking all these things. So we'll see what we can get. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, starting with my top line, which is my income, right? So 2025 has been a really good year for me, and it is again the best year I've ever had income-wise. I still only have two main income sources, which is my content creation as well as my trading. I don't consider my investment returns or any interest that I generate from using money market funds as my income per se, even though it technically is, but I will share more of that when I get to the investment section. On the content creation side, it is, I would say, about the same as last year, maybe just a bit less, and it comes mainly from two sources. One is sponsorship deals or brand deals, and the other one is affiliate fees. That one, I guess, is a bit less. Sponsorship deals are the bulk of it. So I really appreciate you guys for watching my videos, supporting the channel, as well as using my affiliate links to sign up for platforms. I also got a deal with Shock, which is a brand under Astro, to do a podcast throughout the entire year. So we did 40 episodes in total. This wasn't anything crazy when it came to income, especially considering the amount of work that I had to do, but it of course still helped. And this mainly to me was sort of a bucket list item. You know, I did want to do a podcast, and since they reached out to me, I thought, why not? So in total, from my content creation side, it brought in, I would say, about 130,000 ringgit. Then I have the trading side of my income, which has been the bigger focus for me this year. So how it works with my firm is that we usually split it into two cycles, I would say, which starts from January to June and then July to December. So technically, as of the time that I'm recording this video, we are not really done with the year yet. We're not done with the second half book, so I don't want to jinx anything. But trading has been really, really good for me this year, especially the first half. So January to June, market conditions were ideal for me, so I did really, really well back then. This half is a bit more challenging, a lot of give and take, but I still am on track to close positive for this half, so I can't really complain. So for the entire year, on the trading side, I am on track to close at, I think, between 300 to 350,000 ringgit in profits or income. So when I add this up to my content creation side, it would bring me to a total of, I think, about 450 to 500,000 ringgit. So of course, that is very good. I'm happy with it. This is purely my revenue. So this is on the gross side. I haven't deducted taxes. I haven't deducted any business related expenses, and I haven't completed that. So I don't know what my net income is, but roughly, yeah, these are the figures. Now, on to my expenses for the year. These are personal expenses. I won't talk about business expenses. Honestly speaking, I can't give you guys that much detail because I don't know myself. I don't track my expenses. I know I tell you guys, you must track your expenses. You must know where every single cent is going, and you guys might be thinking I'm a hypocrite for saying that. But like I said also, once you start getting a hang of it, once you get a grasp of, how much roughly you spend every single month, then it's not really an issue. You don't have to do it forever, right? Plus, if you're the type of person who, like me, you save and invest money first before you spend it, then yeah, it's not really an issue. You don't really have to track your expenses long term. Anyway, let's get to my expenses. I'm not gonna lie, this year lifestyle inflation has crept up a bit for me, which, I think it is a normal thing. I wouldn't say it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I would say it's a normal thing, right? As you earn more money, it is normal for you to start spending more on yourself. That is completely normal, as long as you're also, saving and investing more money. So make sure it's in proportion, right? When your income goes up, you save more, you invest more, but you can also spend more on yourself. I would say food is probably one area that I spent a bit too much on this year. I want to try and reduce that next year. Every time I go out, I keep eating at places that are a bit too expensive. And another area where it's new for me, or a new expense for me this year, is golf, which has been really expensive, especially because I bought a lot of my clubs this year. So that costed me, I think, 3, 4, maybe 5,000 ringgit. But I've bought everything that I needed, so next year I won't be buying anything more. It will be a lot cheaper. In terms of major purchases, any big ticket items, there are none. I would say the only thing I've been paying off is the mortgage on a condo that I bought last year. It's still not done, so I'm paying progressive interest. But yeah, other than that, I think nothing much. I do have, I think this house is going to be complete sometime next year. I think they're saying maybe Q3 or Q4 2026. So I got to start setting aside some cash for the renovation. In terms of my car, my transportation, as well as my rental, the place I'm currently staying at, there are no big changes there either. So I didn't change my car. I didn't change the place that I rent. Everything is still the same. When it comes to my holidays, this year I decided to take a different approach. So in previous years, I used to do cheaper holidays, right? To go to places like Indonesia, Thailand, maybe even locally, but I did multiple trips a year. This year, I decided that I wanted to do bigger trips, more expensive trips, but I would do less of it. So this year, I only went to 2 trips, one to Pangkor Laut for my mom's birthday, and then the other one, a trip to Japan that I went recently. And yeah, I think it was a pretty good approach. So basically what I did was I increased the cost of each holiday, but I did it less often because I wanted to actually be in Malaysia for as long as possible just to focus on my work, right? I wanted to focus on my trading, and I think it kind of paid off. If I had to guess, which is all I can do at this point because like I said, I don't track my expenses, I would say that my personal expenses every single month on average, if I exclude one-off big items like my MacBook or my new phone, it is about 7,000 to 8,000 ringgit a month, which comes up to 84,000 to 96,000 ringgit a year. This includes all loans that I have, which currently is my PTPTN loan, my car loan, my housing loan, as well as ASB financing, although technically that is an investment. Thinking about it, actually, my single biggest expense for this year will be my taxes, which I have to pay. But we gotta pay what we gotta pay, right? It only makes sense. I would rather be in a position where I have to pay higher taxes rather than not having to pay tax, because that means you didn't make a lot of money. One thing that I also changed up this year when it came to my expenses is I started setting aside money for any commitments that I had in a different bank account. So since my income is inconsistent, right? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. It applies to both my content creation as well as my trading. So I decided I need to play it safe a bit. So every time I had a big sponsorship deal or every time my book closed with my trading and I got my payout, I decided to set aside money for all of my commitments for the next 12 months. So things like my mom's allowance, all the loans I was telling you guys about, as well as my rental, all of these costs, they are fixed in price, right? They are a monthly commitment. I know how much I need to pay every single month. So I set aside this money, 12 months worth, into a pocket in, I think, Right and GX Bank. Right? So I did this because I don't like looking at so much money in just my main spending savings account. It'll make me think that I have so much money, I should spend it all. This way, at least I don't accidentally spend too much. And of course, every single month, I will also reconcile my income for that particular month, and I'll set aside money for my taxes. I think this is something that everyone who has side income, or if you're fully self-employed like myself, you should do this because you don't want to have an extremely high tax bill next year when you've already spent all of your money. Finally, investments. So I took a bit of a different approach this year. There are 2 things I did. The first thing is I decided to be a bit more risk off because my job is already risky, or at least I consider it to be risky. A lot of the money that I made this year is going towards digital banks that will earn me 3 to 4%, money market funds, as well as ASB. I think these are stable investments where at least I shouldn't lose any money at least. So yeah, this is my preferences. I want to build up a big enough cash buffer where I feel more comfortable with having an inconsistent income and not knowing where my paycheck is going to come. If I were to invest all of my money into things like stocks and crypto like I did in the past when I had a full-time job, if let's say anything bad were to happen and I needed the cash, I would then have to sell my stocks, which is not something that I want to do. So this is why I decided to go a more risk-off approach, at least until I hit a certain level. I'm not sure what that exact number is, but yeah, this is what I'm doing right now. I still have the same amount of monthly contributions going towards my stocks and crypto portfolio, but it's just that I didn't increase the amount by much despite my income going up. Because like I said, I'm moving a lot of it towards ASB. Maybe if there was a huge market crash, right? Let's say in the next 6, 12 months or whatever it is, then maybe I'll reconsider. Maybe if it's a really good opportunity that I feel like it's worth taking the risk, then yeah, I would do that. But even though I am going for more stable investments, the returns are like 3, 4, 5, maybe ASB can give me 6% returns, I still get quite a bit of money from it. I think this year I am in the low 5-figure mark in terms of returns just from ASB, money market funds, as well as digital banks. So yeah, it is safe, but it's not that bad. Another thing with my stock and crypto investments is that I decided to simplify it by a lot. So for my crypto portfolio, I sold everything else. The only thing I hold right now is, of course, Bitcoin. And then for my stock portfolio, it is purely ETFs. And I've even narrowed down the ETFs that I own to a few. I think it's less than 5. I don't know what my exact returns are, unfortunately, so I can't share with you guys like, oh, this is how much money I made from my investments, because I don't track it, that's one. And I think number two, I don't think my brokers even offer me the option to know how much money I made in 2025, just because, I continuously invest more money. It's not like I invested once 10 years ago and I've just left it until now. I keep investing new money every single week, every single month. So the return numbers are a bit, difficult to calculate. But looking at the ETFs that I own, chart goes up. So surely I am making money. And yeah, I'm pretty happy about the performances of my investments so far. I bought a bit in March when there was that tariff sell-off, but I didn't get to deploy all of my cash. So I still am holding quite a bit of cash, but I decided this year that I'm no longer going to wait for a dip before I finally invest. I am actually setting it up as a recurring investment. So I use Moomoo, I use the regular savings plan, and I slowly use the money that I have in Moomoo every single week to buy into an ETF until that money eventually goes to zero. When there is a market crash, then yeah, maybe I will consider speeding up my investments a bit. And as my cash balance goes to zero, then maybe I'll consider also transferring more money into there so that my DCA can continue. By the way, if any of you guys are interested in investing into stocks, ETFs from US, from Malaysia, then consider Moomoo. You can use my link down in the description of this video so you get some nice sign-up rewards and you support the channel as well. So overall, I would say my investments have been pretty good for me this year as well. Another year of the US stock market probably closing in the green. Again, I don't want to jinx it because it's not the end of December yet, but most likely it will close in the green. I don't know my exact numbers, but if I had to guess, I would say, again, another low 5-figure profit coming from my stocks and investment portfolio. So my biggest investing mistake I would say I made this year is waiting too long to invest my money. So like I said, in the past, not in the past, but early this year, I was waiting for a huge dip to come before I invested my money, and then I ended up not investing it, holding too much cash, which is why, like I said, I set up the RSP on Moomoo. I also decided to buy some Malaysian stocks this year, which I think as of right now, I am down on, but I wouldn't really say that's a mistake, right? It's just market conditions. Also, I decided not to make any EPF or PRS contributions this year, despite the tax benefits, because of my age and because I don't want to lock my money up. Right, so most of my money is still in money market funds, ASB, stocks, crypto. Yes, stocks and crypto are volatile, but at least if I really need to, I can sell it and cash out at any time that I want. So all in all, I am pretty happy with my financials this year, I would say. I am hoping for better, of course, in the next few years, next year even, but I also acknowledge that I probably have been extremely lucky this year, so I just gotta be thankful. Now, looking into 2026, let's break down some of my goals. First, income-wise, I would be extremely happy if 2026 income levels actually match what I did in 2025, because it's not easy to make that kind of money, right? But at the same time, on my trading side, I do want to get better at trading, not because I want to make money, it's just more like, a personal satisfaction thing. So let's see how that goes. I still gotta acknowledge that it all depends on market conditions. If there's no volatility, if everything is just going against me, there's nothing much I can do, right? So yeah, I guess income-wise, if I could match it next year, I would be happy enough, but obviously if I can do better, then that would be great. On my expenses, I don't see any huge reductions that I can make next year because I do have my commitments, right? Like I said, if there's one thing that I can reduce on, it's probably food, but let's see. The good thing is, I really don't like increasing the commitments that I have. When I spend more money, I prefer to do it as a one-off. For example, going on holiday or eating at a nice steak restaurant and stuff like that. Because at least I pay it, it might be expensive, but at least it's just one-off. Whereas if I decided to make a lifestyle upgrade with a car or a house, I'm stuck with that for 7-9 years, maybe even 35 years, if I decided to buy a house. One thing I might have to prepare next year though is I am considering moving places because I've been here for a while. So my rental might see a bump up in expenses, but there's still a long way to go. My contract ends like end of next year, so we'll have to wait and see. On my investment side, I think everything is going pretty okay so far. I want to try and max out my ASB as fast as possible, but I don't think that I can do it in 2026 because I'm still quite a ways off. unless something crazy happens and I make so much money. But yeah, I don't think it will happen next year, maybe in 2027 or 2028. In fact, I am looking to increase my ASB financing. Right now it's only 100,000 ringgit, maybe do 200,000 ringgit, and I have reached out to a bank already to see the rates that they have. If it's a really good offer, I can do another video talking about ASB financing and whether it's worth it for you guys. But as of right now, I think it is worth it. And then for my stocks and crypto, it will most likely be just, business as usual, BAU, keep it simple, keep it boring. I think everything is fine right now with my auto DCAs and stuff. But if a huge market crash comes next year, then yeah, maybe I will reevaluate things. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you guys learned something from it as well. Let me know what is the biggest money win that you had this year. Thanks for watching the video to the end, guys. Give me a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it and support my channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.